I really love when people are actually in dialogue with the videos. I always say I'm not the smartest person in the room. Right now, what I see is that a lot of people, if someone doesn't agree with them, they shut them down. They can't hear anything that they're saying. But even when someone says something that infuriates me, that makes my blood boil, I try to, maybe once I calm myself down, go, okay, like let me in a thorough way evaluate what they're saying to see if there is any merit in what they're saying. I've started talking about diversity and about Secretary of Defense Hegseth's comments about not wanting women in combat. And so in the conversation about diversity, of course, it stirred up a lot of emotion. And one of the things that one of the people that had watched the video had made a comment about, like, I don't want someone who just checks some boxes to get a job, and neither do I. As a female, I did believe that I had to work 5 times harder just to be considered competent. And I never wanted a job because I was the token female and that I fit that billet. It doesn't do me any good. It doesn't do the organization any good if that's what we're doing. But I think sometimes people don't look at the diversity issue in a holistic way. And I will say that from both sides. People talk about competency. Like, I never think that someone should get a job if they are less competent or if they're less able to do the job, because the job is based on, who can best move the mission forward. But what I'm asking us to talk about is when we talk about abilities and skills and experiences, it does bring something different to the table. So if we're going to say all things equal on certain things, I do think that there is value added into having someone who doesn't think like everyone else does, or they have different experiences than everyone else in the room, because there's a term called groupthink. Sometimes people who have different opinions, they don't want to speak up because they don't want to seem different, and everybody assumes, well, if no one else is saying anything, that everyone must agree. Or, if everyone kind of does come from the same flavor and has the same mindset, the same opinions, the same beliefs, then it can limit us. I think that a box that could be checked is, do they have different experiences than everyone else in the room? That brings something different, and that is an ability that potentially the other people don't have. And I also believe that a good leader, and I'm going to put emphasis on good because I think a lot of leaders don't do this. Even now, there's a lot of either for Trump or against Trump. And in both sides, once you declare you're on one side or the other, people can't hear the other person. And so this is what I'm asking us to do, is instead of jumping straight to judgment, to go, okay, what is this person saying right now? Is there any value? And sometimes it could take going, okay, I'm going to have to calm down a little bit. This is different than my belief system. This has triggered something in me. And I'm just asking us to look at potentially having someone who has a different opinion in the room can have value added. We can move our mission forward better if we have someone who does think differently. And so when I talk about choosing love, I'm also choosing to make us the best organization, the best country, the best community, whatever it is that we're trying to make better. We do that by including all of the voices. When I say diversity, I know this stirs up a lot of things in people. When you're used to holding all of the power, it is very difficult to go, okay, I want to give some of this up. That's difficult, and it does trigger things in us. And I'll just use myself as an example because I'm not immune to this. And when I'm sitting somewhere and there's a table full of people, like let's just say they're speaking Spanish, there's a part of me, even though I can speak, at different points in my life, I've had varying levels of fluency in Spanish, but there is a part of me that says, oh no, I can't speak Spanish. If everyone starts speaking Spanish, where does that leave me? That is partially what gets triggered in people when they start talking about bringing new people into this power equation. Is they go, okay, if I start including other people, like, what is that going to take from me? Where does my standing, where is that? And what am I going to lose? And And I understand that that can trigger things in us. And I also understand the value that different people bring. And so when we're talking about choosing love, I'm choosing to include all voices.